Hey there, my name's Ned, and today I want to teach you how to make an ARK Survival Evolved dedicated server. For those of you who don't know how to do it, seems like a lot of people don't know how to do it. There haven't been any recent tutorials that I've specifically seen recently, and so this will be a tutorial that kind of just teaches you how to host your own ARK server without having to pay for one. This is for, keep in mind, this is for PC only. Well, yeah, this is for PC only. This isn't for hosting console servers or anything. And also keep in mind that before watching this, unless you're planning on getting a PC capable of doing this in the future, you just want to make sure that you have probably at least 16 gigabytes of RAM. This will allow you to host 2 to 3, just 2 servers, possibly 3, whilst simultaneously playing the game. Not only do you need 16 gigs of RAM around there, 8 just won't cut it for playing and hosting at the same time. So 16 gigs, and then also you need a decent CPU that's at least 4 cores, and at least 3.0 gigahertz, probably, I would just assume. And so as long as you've got those, then you're totally good, and you can continue on watching this. Or if in the future you're going to have them, then you can go ahead and watch this as well if you just want to know how to make a server. So enough of that. I don't want to waste your time. Let's get right into it. So what you want to do first is you want to go to Google, search Steam CMD, go to the Steam CMD Valve developer community, and then you want to go right down here, click this link. It'll download a zip file with the just a single exe inside of it. You want to create a folder on your desktop called Steam CMD. Keep in mind, I'm moving fast just so I don't waste anyone's time. If this seems complicated, trust me, it's not. You can do this if you want to have your own server. It's pretty easy. So there you go, Steam CMD. Then you want to run this exe. It's going to download a few files, so you just want to let it do that. It's going to put these in the folder that you put it in. So if you put it on your desktop, which I don't advise you to do, it's going to put all these folders and files on your desktop directly. So make sure you put it in a folder. You can name this folder whatever you want. The name is not relevant whatsoever. So once it's done downloading these, I'll cut to when it's done. All right, looks like it's done. We're good now. So once it says type quit to exit loading Steam API, okay, you want to go ahead and type login anonymous. This will log you in anonymously so that you don't have to worry about logging in with your Steam account. You want to click allow access. If this pops up, it's just going to allow Steam to do some things. Then you want to type, at least for an ARK server, you want to type app_update and then 376030, and then just in case, validate. You don't necessarily have to do this validate part. I just always do whenever I'm updating the server. This is also how you update it. You just open the Steam CMD, login anonymous, and then app update 376030 validate. And so this is the ID for ARK. For other servers, like for example, I think 70die is 294420. They all have their own unique IDs. So you just want to type this, hit enter, and it's going to begin downloading all the ARK server files. Now, I'm not going to do this because I already have them downloaded. Oh yeah, and by the way, whenever you're quitting Steam CMD, you just generally want to type quit and hit enter instead of closing it. But you don't have to do that. It'll just kind of crash if you hit X. So once you have the servers downloaded, or the server files downloaded, and they're 100%. It can take some time. Generally, it's maybe about 13 gigabytes for all of the content, including all the DLCs, because it will download all the DLCs. You want to go to the Steam Apps folder, then Common, and right here you should just see ARK Survival Evolved dedicated server. You probably won't see 70die. Well, you won't unless you download it specifically. You just want to hop in here, ARK Survival Evolved dedicated server, go to shooter game. Now, the only files that you're really going to use, or folders you're really going to use, are binaries and saved. Saved contains your save files and your config, your game user settings INI, and your game.ini. These will dictate how basically what settings your server has. Then there's binaries. Let's go to binaries Windows 64. Then you won't see any of these. You will not see them. But what you want to do, you should see all this stuff, assuming it downloaded correctly. So what you want to do is right click, new text document, call it doesn't actually matter, but run or start underscore the map that you want to use. Generally, if you're going to use multiple maps, if you're just going to host one server, and that's it, and you don't want to worry about a cluster ever, then you can just name it whatever, and differentiating it from others, since there won't be any more bad files. it doesn't really matter, but, or any more bat files that you use to open servers, it doesn't really matter, but either way. So just call this, for example, if it's the island server, start underscore the island, whatever, make sure it's .bat. There you go. It's going to pop up a little thing. Just hit yes. Now you want to edit it, and you're going to paste in some text that I will have in the description. So for example, here, I'm going to copy this, and then, so let me go through this text. I know it looks kind of scary for some of you maybe, but this is just starting the server. ShooterGame.exe is just going to run this exe here. This is the server. Then it decides the map. It's like the first line. So Aberration is the map I have it on. Let me go through all of them just so you know. The island is just the island. Scorched Earth is Scorched Earth underscore P. Aberration should just be Aberration. Extinction is just Extinction. Ragnarok is just Ragnarok. The center, I believe, is just the center. And then Valguero is the Valguero underscore P. I could be wrong about some of those. I'll update the description if I was actually wrong. Then you got SessionName. This is going to dictate the name of the server. Listen, OverrideOfficialDifficulty. This is just something that you don't necessarily have to put it in the command line, but I have it there just so that it makes sure that it runs as if there's no save. It's going to start the world with this OverrideOfficialDifficulty set to 5.0. If you're unaware, this sets the max level that wild dinos can spawn at. MaxPlayers sets the maximum amount of players on the server. AltSaveDirectoryName. This is going to essentially create a different folder in the saved, like here. For example, instead of having just a save file or folder, it'll separate them if you have multiple servers. So if you want to have multiple servers in a cluster, then you can follow through with the instructions that I'll give in a second. But if you only want to have one server, then you don't need to worry about having an alt save. Then you have the port. You're going to want to port forward a few ports I'll go over in a second. Then you have the QueryPort. There's two types of ports that ARK uses. Then you have UseBattlEye. This is a different kind of command. You put it at the end of the quotations. UseBattlEye, so just make sure the server uses BattleEye. NoTransferFromFiltering. This kind of disables, I believe it makes it to where people can't transfer in and out of your cluster. It's like a totally closed off thing. Cluster ID, you want to set this to, if you're assuming you're using clusters, just set it to whatever you want. Make sure it's unique so that other people can't get in. I don't know if that matters. So now I will explain how to use ports, or which ports you need to forward. I can't really provide you with a tutorial of my own on how to port forward, but make sure you're not port triggering. Make sure you're actually forwarding ports, because port triggering is a temporary thing that temporarily opens ports, whereas port forwarding permanently opens ports is on the IP that you set them to. So, okay, so you need to port forward. You need to forward 7777. This is the port itself. Then you also need 27015 for the query port. This is just for basic. You can do anything from 7777 to probably 7790 or 90. I don't know what it goes to actually. It might go on forever as long as it's 4 digits. Anything above 777, yeah. And then 27015. This can be anywhere in between, or anything equal to or above 27015, I assume. But generally, what I've done is, I've hosted 7 servers simultaneously, and they all have to be, 27015, 27016, 27017, just so that I can have them in order, so it's not just like a random, or 27060 or 271, yeah. So I just kind of forwarded the ports. You also need to mirror that. You need two. So for example, if you're gonna have 2 servers, you'd want 7777 or anything in between this and like some arbitrary like 7799 or something, right? Anything in between there. And then also a unique query port. The query port is what Steam uses to kind of find the server, and so it could be any combination of these really, and it goes on for a while, of course, but generally, to make it easy, you want to have a server that's this, and then maybe this and this, this and this, and so on. 7780 and 27018, yeah. So That's generally how this works. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. So now that you know how the ports work, basically I'll just kind of briefly go over the settings stuff. So Windows Server, game.ini. So this is where you put all the game.ini settings. You can I'll kind of give you a list of those in the, or not a list, but a wiki page that'll send you to or that'll show all of the stuff that you put in the game.ini as well as the game user settings.ini. And then that so that's that'll apply whenever you restart the server or put it up. So to start the server itself, you just open one of these, you open the bat file, and then it's going to open a little console window that looks like this. You'll know that the server's up whenever it says command line and then whatever, BattleEye successfully started, and then server, and then thing has successfully started. You'll know it goes up whenever that prints, essentially. To shut down the server or to restart it, whatever, you just click this X. You don't need to, you can't type anything anyways, but just Xing it out of it will save it and close it. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, just please let me know. I'm so sorry this has been 15 minutes long or however minutes long it is. And yeah, just let me know if you have any questions or any issues. Thanks for watching. Bye.